This is Covert Agent Ravage, and you are watching another Malwave Transformers review.
Hey everybody, and welcome to the first day of Colossus week. And this is also another Malwave Transformers video review. I'm sure all of you saw that very cool intro. I will not spend too much time on that. If you didn't see my little description of in my vlog, this intro was actually performed by Mr. Lee Tokar himself. I will link you guys. I'll actually link you guys. Do a little trailer or something for the whole interview that I had for John's channel. But anyways, today, since most of you know that you can't start off a Bruticus without the torso, it's time for the video review of Revenge of the Fallen Onslaught. Excuse me. Now, obviously, as you can tell, hey, there's no fan project parts on it. That's mostly how most of us imitate fans. Herp the derp. Well, that's because I don't sound any different, do I? Well, that's because of one reason. For these first three figures, that is Vortex, Onslaught, and Brawl, I'll be reviewing their base molds. Their base molds without the items. Because it's not really fair to say, oh, this thing has lots of gimmicks. It has a very big weapon. It has interchangeable weapons with the rest of the toys. And that wouldn't be around usually. But I'd better stop rambling. Onslaught is a mobile defense. Cut this part out. Like, oh my god. There we go. Onslaught is a mobile. Now, as I was saying before, sorry about the little cut there. I had to adjust my stand so you can see this better. Onslaught is a mobile defense missile truck. It doesn't roll all that well. Hi. And you can also clearly see, hello, who would that be in there? You can also clearly see his arms, his torso, and everything. It's your standard, quote-unquote, standard Energon toy. Now, this isn't the same Energon toy as you would be used to. I would assume you'd probably be used to this one here. This was a part of a Revenge of the Fallen set that was basically repainted into more quote-unquote realistic colors, but also, I guess, as a sort of an homage to the other toys. And I don't know. I think the color scheme does fit this toy a lot better than the blue and yellow what Barricade, I think his name was, that Barricade was in Energon. Also, I really like on the front once it decides to focus off for me. Hang on. That's as close as we're gonna get, folks. On SLT, Onslaught. Now, the one thing though that sets this toy and makes this toy probably my favorite of the whole three of them, or at least one of my favorites, since this missile pod also forms his leg section, whoops, it has a fully rotatable and aimable missile pod. And nice shot of my hands there. So you can literally pull it around. You know, you got an enemy behind you. Oh no! Click, click. you know, boom, 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 boom. Or actually try aiming behind you if you can hit people behind you. So for Onslaught's vehicle mode, I'm going to score him a 21. There are a few nice features, but other than that, you're basically dealing with an Energon toy, and a combiner Energon toy. So the main gimmick of the whole thing, and the main reason this vehicle mode is here, is just so it won't be robot torso. So now that that's done, let's get to the transformation sequence. And here we have Revenge of the Fallen Barricade, not Barricades, son of a bitch, Onslaught in robot mode. Now this is also, again with the stupid light, I should have gotten Lee to, on reflection, I should have gotten Lee to start complaining about the light, then I could have put that in. But yes, as you can tell, Onslaught is about deluxe size. As a good comparative, I'll just put him up against Classics Rodimus here, and you can see the scale. It's pretty. He's actually he's just a tiny bit taller than Rodimus, if you don't count the fins. And in terms of articulation, this toy does have some. This toy needs to have a lot in order to accommodate the whole Bruticus. For some reason, he's not deciding. Unfortunately, for some reason, he's not wanting to stand all that well. It's rather annoying. Hang on, there we go. There we go. Yeah, that's one thing. He tends not to stand all that well. Anyway, his head rotates 360 degrees. And just before I continue, isn't that a nice head sculpt? His shoulder can rotate 360 degrees as well, and pivots about 90 degrees. His elbow will rotate 360 degrees, and will pivot 90 on a very tight ball joint, or not ball joint, ratchet joint. His hand unfortunately doesn't move, so oh god, I don't know why I'm hitting this camera so much. Get used to the stock hand syndrome. In order to accommodate for the rotatable missile pod, he has a 360 degree waist articulation. His thighs are about 90 degrees out and 180 in either direction. His knee rotates 360. And if you get it at the right joint, it will bend. And there is no foot articulation. So, in total, Onslaught gets a 19 for articulation. Now, again, this has a lot of good points for articulation, but the majority of them, there are no ball joints on him. He's missing some. All of his joints are tight, and most of all, his arms basically, they are restricted. His articulation is completely restricted to having just a swivel. You can't get him into all intricate positions. You can just get him into certain positions. For gimmick, Onslaught gets 15. Now, the main reason being that he turns into a torso for Bruticus. That's it. Yeah. What you see is what you get. Onslaught, unfortunately, doesn't come with very many other, accessories. He doesn't come with a gun. He doesn't come with... he only solely exists so we could have... So he has a... So he has becomes the torso. His turret becomes useless because that's the turret. Hold on a sec. Cut. Uncut. And his turret becomes, well, his turret becomes his legs. And otherwise, he doesn't come with very many other items to really help him out. He's just the torso. However, for fun factor, he scores a nice solid 22. My reasoning for this is a few reasons. And one of them includes sneezing. Excuse me. Onslaught is a fun toy. Now, granted, his joints are a tiny bit tight, but he has a nice and easy transformation. If you can't find this mold in specific, you can find very many other versions of him, such as the Universe Barricade, or the Energon one, or the Classics redo of the Bruticus Maximus mold. And he has a good enough vehicle mode, so you have the whole play value of the turret. And he is compatible with any other Energon combiner limb. So as long as there is a combiner port, so as long as there are one of these, they'll plug on to Bruticus. They'll plug on to Onslaught. The only thing I can say is, aside from he was built to become a combiner, so on his own as a sole toy, he's pretty much useless as something. I mean, he has moderate articulation, and while his vehicle mode does have good play value, you can see everything through it. So it does kind of, how should I put it, lower the possibility of suspending belief that this thing is a real robot. So, until tomorrow, this is Malwave with Revenge of the Fallen Onslaught, signing out. See ya, everyone!